was just in there for that couple of seconds. I took a couple of second break, literally, and I should start saying, okay, so now, welcome to part 5 of, and let's move this stuff off the other screen out of the way, making your bus, box truck, etc. nomad life series. Your agenda topic. And so there's this part, and then there's just gonna be one more part. So let me try to do that, so because you guys won't be waiting for a week or two for me to like kind of like finish up the topic a little bit before I go into another. I'm gonna try to do that just in this video and in the next one, and get the bulk of it done in this one, so I could just like kind of blab in the next one, make that the conclusion. Okay, so if you say, okay, you know what, I don't like the way the world is these days, I don't like the way government is, I don't like the way people are, I want to get away from all that, all of them, I've already said in other videos that I've made on the other channels, which are in the about section of this channel, the other links. You won't find my Facebook or Twitter or Instagram there, but they are on my YouTube Predada S channel in the description. And so, you say, oh, I don't like the way any of this stuff is. I just want to get away from that. I say in these other things, we're all aliens. You're an alien, I'm an alien, you're a different type of alien. All you're really trying to do is, like, if you ever saw the movie E.T., is he wanted to phone home. Actually, he wanted to go home too. But all you're really trying to do is go home, because home in a very real sense is not here. Like, there's billions of people on Earth, or Gaia, whatever you would like to call it, because Earth and Gaia are two different things, and we're not really on Gaia at the moment, we're on Earth, or vice versa, but we won't get into that right now. But the planet that we're all here on, all these people, you got to imagine, all these spirits, all these souls, is too much for where we are. That should make sense to you. Meaning, it's like a house or a town, but let's just say a house, because that makes it even creepier at the end of what I'm trying to say. Imagine you buy a house. And so you buy this house and you're like, hey, I'm gonna buy this big house and have my family come live there. And so, and I don't mean in the normal sense of whatchamacallit. I almost feel like making that part right there short, because I know that probably looked crazy just now. In the normal sense of family, like, I don't mean like, wife and children. I mean like, your grandparents and your brother and his wife and stuff, big thing, like, some people buy. You figure have all of them come live there. Now, imagine that turns into your immediate family, and then far off relatives, and then just people, which I would do as like a community. Like, you need doctors, you would like to have them close for emergency situations. Emergency services people or whatever, and things like that, and equipment. So it goes from being like your house with your family and in your closer family, to being like this community, but all inside your house. You didn't buy something big enough for that. So that's what's going on in the world. And everybody's like this individual spirit. And even though you call yourselves family, everyone, getting past the whole part of everybody's a different person. Like, people get married, and so it's like somebody from this side of the world or this side of the town or whatever marrying this person over here, and then they have kids, and then the kids, they go off and get married to somebody on the other side of the world. So nobody's really related. And so you're all a bunch of entities that just happen to be on the same globe together. And you got to wonder, actually, if we all are half the time. But anyway, on the same globe together. And you're all just trying to get along with each other and prosper. And so now you can't say that now that we have these billions of people on the globe, that all of those souls minus the bodies, but all of those souls, all of those spirits were just here. They were just around. That shouldn't make any sense to you, because either they came from nothing, or they were already here, or they were somewhere else and came here. And you could say, okay, you believe in God, in this type of God where, okay, a baby's born and it has a spirit in it. Okay, God put that spirit in that baby. Okay, so what you're saying, some of you at least, is that the spirit is brand new and it's the first time it was ever here. You don't believe in reincarnation. A lot of people who are, say Christians or whatever the case, don't believe in reincarnation. Or at least not reincarnation in the sense of, you were here at some other time. So if that's the case, then where does that spirit go afterwards? And so where does the spirit go afterwards? Oh, it goes to heaven. Okay, so then another baby's born. Does the spirit come back down? Oh, no, because God just makes another spirit. So I'm quite sure there's a bunch of you who believe that. And so it's just like these new spirits keep getting made. So you got all these spirits that are going to heaven, right? So heaven is a really crowded place, right? And so God has to manage all of that, because remember, according to you or your beliefs, everything started with Adam and Eve, and he made Adam and Eve. He blew breath into their lungs, so he made their spirits. So at the beginning, it was just two people. So God's house has become really crowded, because it doesn't just have people. Remember, it has trees and grass and other, species of beings, creatures, and anything else that has passed from here and gone there. All of it is there. And, you get down on your knees and pray every night. And it's like, okay, answer my prayers. You're here. But then there's the people in heaven. Do people in heaven get down on their knees and pray every night? They're already in heaven. What do they do? I don't know. When things aren't going right for them, or is everything just like freaking perfect? But I doubt it. So, these concepts, we all have these different concepts of it. But you have all of these people here on earth, all of these spirits, and everyone is different. Everyone's an alien. So if you want to make it make sense, then it's okay. Things came from nothing, and then, some of it became trees, some of it became planets, some of it became water, oxygen, and some of it became living beings, like spiritual entities. Some became physical beings that have spirits in them. Maybe some physical beings don't have spirits, which is true. And they're just walking around, bodies walking around. And so all of those things are now here, and they just want to hang out here. They have no desire to do anything else but just walk around here and then die. That doesn't make any sense. So you gotta only imagine, when you want to take a vacation, when you want to go see somewhere else, when you want to jump in an airplane, which is like, if we're going to keep it real, flying is one of the stupidest things anybody can ever do, because you don't have any wings. Even if you had wings, you shouldn't be at the height that you would be in a plane, because you can't breathe if you were outside of the plane because of the way the oxygen level is, allegedly. So we'll say that's like the dumbest thing you can do next to rock climbing. And then right after that, rock climbing with gear. That's the third dumbest thing. And then after that is parachuting. Or free jumping off a cliff. That all of those are in the top 10. And so what you're basically doing as a nomad is got to make sense to you. Like I said in other videos, and I didn't say that explicitly, but it's got to make sense to you that what you're really looking to do is leave the world. You want to leave. You want to go somewhere else. But some of you don't believe, just like the people don't believe in Bigfoot, but some believe in aliens and not vice versa. You don't believe that there's aliens. So let's see. You're a nomad. Aliens are nomads. They go from planet to planet, but you don't believe in aliens. So now you're a nomad and you're just staying on the same planet, and you want to leave from where you're at and go somewhere else. There's nowhere to go. It's a giant ball or flat, according to whoever. And there's nowhere else really to go, but you're going to get there. And the safest way to do that all the time is with something with wheels. So, okay, you got more sense to someone who maybe wants to convert. And I'm not trying to be mean or nasty, because flying is a necessity. You should want to be able to fly. But with the current technology that man has, that he allows the public to know about, it is the stupidest thing to do. So now, what is not so stupid, but where I was kind of going in that direction, is people who convert planes. My preference, seaplanes. That makes more sense. I've seen a seaplane or two converted. And so to live in a giant seaplane is like, I would have to say, is completely awesome, but you can't drive down the street in it, on the road. Now, some people have in their life the ability to just travel. They don't have to really go past anything that's a port. So you go to one country and there's a port, you go to the port area and you go to all the stores there, whatever your supplies are, and you stay in your plane and you're more comfortable that way. You don't have a need to go venture inland because somehow you make your living just like that without having to, get a base on land and or work and drive a car somewhere. And so, if that works for you, that works for you. But every time you fly, you're taking a huge chance, which you were supposed to be avoiding because you left the hustle and bustle of regular life and living in what they call sticks and bricks to be safer in a manner of speaking, more stable in a manner of speaking, even though if you throw Nomad and all that, it doesn't make any sense to the average person. But if you're on the road, then you understand what I'm saying. Being on the road is safer and more stable than having a house and having a job you work at. So, but you would have to do the Nomad thing to know this. That's why I'm saying it's not a game. And so you're really just looking to be an alien. You really want to leave, but you don't believe in aliens. So you'll never reach that plateau of being able to do it right. So what I've found, at least, I can't say at least, but if I want to just be fact-based, what I found is that in my life, the most important thing is money. So if you have money on this world, in my life on this world, I'll say, on this world, if you have, I don't want to say unlimited money, but that would be nice, but if you have good access to money, like it's not the hardest thing for you to make, and you can make a lot of it. And so you can have like the plane and live in a boat, things like that, then you're coming closer to being that alien than anyone else. But still the problem is you're missing the whole alien aspect. Your soul, your very being yearns to be out there, someplace you've never been, but that exists. And if you don't believe in extraterrestrialism, if you don't believe that there are other worlds, that you can live on other worlds, then it's basically like saying, hey, I want to buy a house one day, but I'm not buying a house anywhere except in this town I live in right here, this one right here. I'm not going anywhere else. I don't want to go past State Road 5 because I don't really know what's over there. Maybe there's nothing over there. I've never been there. There's no proof. There's no scientific proof I have that life exists past there, even though there's YouTube and this and I see cars come and go. Who's to say? I'm staying right here in this town and I'm buying a house. So if the economy is bad, even though there's no such thing as an economy, if the economy is bad, if the ability to work in your town is bad, if you don't get good cell service or good internet service, whatever, in that town, then you see how much of a horror story it can be to just stay that shallow-minded, that closed-minded. So now, venturing to the beyond out there, we have access to the internet and things like this to let you know that there's, at least on this world, other places you can go, other ways you can make an income, other things you can get into and explore, other ways to support yourself and find happiness, places to go, somewhere to go. If you know that, and then add to that, it's funny how on this vein I'm in, the time seems to be going slower. Anyway, so if you can add to that vein, the whole extraterrestrial thing. So it's like, our goal as the organization we are is to keep active transport, active movement, active relationships, things like this with other worlds, other dimensions. And the most important part of the those, or one of the most important parts, is vehicles. And so, it's not about having a bus, it's not about having a plane or a submarine, it's about having spacecraft, interdimensional craft, so on. And things large enough to live inside of. So no different than you would call a mothership, or like, you watch like the Star Wars and Star Trek and all these other movies where they show people living out in space and these things. And it's like, there's few people here and there. I think comparatively, it's a few people who are like, oh yeah, I wish I could do that. Just like live in space in a in a UFO and just travel planet to planet. But like the shows don't make it look so much UFO-y. They make it seem like, okay, it's humans, so it's a spacecraft. It's not a UFO. It's not unidentified. It's a spacecraft. But like if you see one and you don't know whose it is, it's like, oh, UFO. And now it's not, it's not a house in the sky flying around there. It's some strange object that might have creatures on it who mean you harm, and it came from only God knows where. And according to a lot of people scripturally, it's demons. They're from hell and they're demons. Look at that thing. I don't know what that is. But if you get in one and you go fly to another planet, you're a spacecraft and you're a person. And if somebody starts shooting at you at another planet, it's like, what are you doing? Why are you shooting at me? I'm not doing anything wrong. I have the right to be able to fly around my solar system or my universe or my galaxy or whatever and look around. And so why shouldn't anyone else? But see, you don't want to believe in that. And because you don't want to believe in that, and because you don't see yourself as an alien, then all you see when you choose to become a nomad is you don't like the establishment. You don't like the government. You don't like, it's these secret societies and stuff. That's why I'm always talking about the Illuminati thing. These secret societies, they control the world and they're messing up the world and they're doing all these evil things. And I want to get away from that. So I'm going to get in a bus or a truck and I'm going to drive over there into the middle of the wilderness where there's no water, no food, and but there might be stores and stuff around. So you're like, oh, there's a Walmart, there's a Checkers, there's a what do you call it? I don't know, whatever stores it might be over there, and it's like I'm gonna go live over there, out there in the middle of nowhere, just far enough from the store so people don't bother me, and get my own little piece of property, and I'm good. But that's not the case. And so with these last 2 minutes of this part right here, I have to say your agenda needs to be, I guess I'm going to switch with the agenda. I had an agenda, what an agenda format should be when you want to be a nomad, but I think I'm going to switch that up a little bit to say this. Your agenda should be to research as much as possible anything having to do with other dimensions, other universes, aliens, other creatures from wherever they might be that are not from Earth that you've never seen before because they're in another dimension or some aspect of Earth, some cavern, some place like inner Earth that most people don't believe in, or whatever the case. You need to make that your agenda, as crazy as it might sound. You need to make that your agenda when you're choosing to do bus life, but alongside, while learning these things, to figure out how to expand your mental horizons, make the world a better place, and to subvert, we'll say it like that, subvert the malevolence, the guarantee, the things that are malevolent going on in the world. You can only do that if you choose to open your mind and explore that aspect of it. So it just kind of goes right back to when I said about the guy saying to me, hey, people, want to control everything else, but they don't want to control themselves. Let's do something with that word control. It's like, okay, what do you believe in? Who are you as a person? That's going to carry. Is right now you're at home or you're somewhere static where you are. But if you choose to buy a bus or truck and make it into a motorhome, you're taking your belief system, your way of life somewhere else, where at least on this world, where other people are who don't necessarily believe or live like you do. And you can see the friction that can cause. So I think that's what I'm going to go off into in the what's going to be the 6th video. So I'll see you then in a couple of seconds.